What's up, everybody? It's Tim, High Noons Vinyl, your friendly neighborhood vinyl guy. Still sick. Well, if you watch my last one, I'm still sick because I'm filming this one 10 minutes later. So it's not like I'm sick for weeks. Or however long it took me to post this one. Hip hop. Let's go. I know some of you guys are gonna be like, oh God, he's showing hip hop. I'm not watching. Fine, don't watch. I don't care. But I gotta show this stuff. Why? Because it's awesome. And I gotta put it away. So, excuse me, let's get digging. Digital Underground, Sex Packets. They finally did a reissue of this one on 2 LPs. Sounds sweet. Sounds incredible. Rest in peace to Gregory Jacobs, aka Shock G, the piano man, Humpty Hump, the mental genius behind Digital Underground. This album is just a stone cold classic masterpiece. Anything from Do What You Like, the Humpty Dance, The Way We Swing, Rhyming on the Funk, Underwater Rhymes, which is just absolutely fun. The whole Sex Packet thing, which is just hysterical. Absolutely just a fantastic album. Glad to have the reissue. Sad to see we lost Shock G. Another reissue from Tommy Boy, even though Tommy ain't my boy. You know what? Tommy Boy don't exist no more. Someone owns the rights to him. So, all right. Let's get this going, popping, and get these artists paid. Queen Latifah just recently had a birthday. This is her debut, All Hail the Queen. Started the Flavor Unit group, which was Queen Latifah, Apache, Naughty by Nature, DJ Mark, the 45 King. And he did a lot of production on this. And this one, my introduction to Queen Latifah was when the single for Princess of the Posse came out. And on the B-side was a monster cut. I don't know if you can see it there, called Wrath of My Madness. That song was just incredible. And then she had De La Soul on this one. She brought Moni Love here to the States and really gave her a voice. And she ended up being a part of the Flavor Unit for a minute. Just absolutely fantastic stuff. Going back and trying to pick up at least the first round of solo albums from the Wu-Tang Clan. Method Man's Decal is just top notch. Anything from, you've got Meth vs. Chef, which is just a killer song. They remixed Method Man for this. Bring the Pain, All I Need. I mean, just killer album from Method Man. And it's good to see he's been putting out some new stuff recently on YouTube. And good to see that it sounds like he is back in the pocket. Back on Def Jam, finally picked up a copy of this. That's the latest from Public Enemy, When the Grid Goes Down. Absolutely love this album. A lot of features on this one. They did a remix of Fight the Power. They had Black Thought, Rhapsody, fantastic female rapper. Really got to check her out. Nas, they had Ice-T and PMD on a track. The Beastie Boys, Remainer, Mike D, Ad Rock, and even Run DMC jumped on a track with them. Cypress Hill, which was great because of now that Rage Against the Machine is back together. Prophets of Rage have disbanded, so it was great to hear them again on Def Jam. It just reminded me of that kind of Wall of Sound era where the Bomb Squad was just on fire. Longtime Crate resident, finally getting around to showing this one. And this is Pharoah Monch. This is the reissue of Internal Affairs. Did a big monster song with this one called Simon Says that really got a lot of club play, but incredible lyricist, lots of ingenious wordplay, just fantastic MC. His stuff with Organized Confusion as well is just really underrated on this really cool red and yellow wax. I'll show this one. Stone Classic. Doesn't need much to be said about this one. The solo debut from Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation. This might be a top 100 album for me. I don't know. I mean, she delivers. I mean, on every one of these songs, she delivers. Everything is everything. Every ghetto, every city. Doo-wop to Zion, Lost Ones. Her cover of Can't Take My Eyes Off You is a bonus cut on this. Just this album just delivers. You know, I understand it. You know, I get it. She had some of her problems with the press, and she has problems, legal issues and stuff like that. But man, this album, it just stands the test of time for me, and it constantly delivers. Speaking of lyrical MCs, 20 years ago, I would have probably had this guy in my top 20, 25. Right now, it would be hard for me to keep him out of my top 5. He's like a fine wine. He just gets better. And then finally everyone got to see the genius that is this man a couple of years ago when he broke the internet with his 10-minute one-take freestyle. And of course, now I'm talking about Black Thought. And this was their major label debut, Do You Want More? And this is the limited edition 3-album set. Billy Hurst actually told me that this sounded fantastic and I needed to get it. So I pounced on it once he told me that. And he's not lying. Damn, they remastered this one. So sweet. Everything sounds like it's in the pocket. So this one starts off with the introduction. There's something going on. You got Proceed, Static, Distortion to Static, I Remain Calm, Mellow My Man, Dat Scat, Do You Want More, Say What's Up Man, Silent Treatment, and then you've got what essentially is a bunch of remixes and singles on the last 2 sides. Comes with just this really cool, let's see if I can get it out of here. Comes with a really cool booklet talking about production, talking about the different stuff, some great liner notes. If you're a fan of Roots, this is a version to have. And because they are a hip-hop band, if the vinyl is done right, they sound amazing on wax. I believe there's one like this for Things Fall Apart that I really want. And I have the Vinyl Me Please pressing of Phenerology. So I'm really looking for quality presses on the Roots because they sound kick-ass. Classic. Gotta have it. Def Jam. I Can't Live Without My Radio. Picked up a sweet reissue, or not a reissue, picked up a sweet copy of this one. Mine was thrashed, trashed, bashed, and should have been stashed. This one sounds absolutely fantastic. I mean, Can't Live Without My Radio, Dangerous, the classic cut, Rock the Bells, which DJs far and wide use that to showcase their skills, obviously on Def Jam. I mean, this is just early hip-hop goodness. And one of those ones that's like really, what Run DMC did for putting hip-hop out to the masses, this put hip-hop on the radio. And not necessarily in a sellout way. It was just, he did it, you know, LL did it in his way. Beastie Boys were becoming a thing, and Ad Rock handed Rick Rubin the tape and said, you got to put this guy on. Fun fact, and I've shared this before, but fun fact, this is not Cut Creator doing the cuts on this. This is actually Jazzy J from the African Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force is doing the cuts on this. And he was supposed to be a founding member of Def Jam, and that kind of worked its way out of, didn't work out right. But, you know, that's another time for another day. Speaking of Run DMC, picked up this bad boy, King of Rock. What can you say about this? King of Rock, Rock the House, Jam Master Jammin', Roots Rock Reggae. Just, again, another killer record from the kings of hip hop. Back in those days, you know, when you talked about the best of the best, you had to bring up Run DMC. So I got a couple of them on wax. I still need to get the first one, and then I gotta figure out what I need after that. So I'm still trying to fill in holes because, good God. Also trying to pick up a ton of singles, but that's another story for another day. There was a website. Mellow Music Group. Sorry, I couldn't see it. And they were having a sale right around Black Friday, I think it was. It was $15 releases, or maybe everything was $15. And I knew that they had put out an album from Joel Ortiz and King Crooked, two members of the now defunct Slaughterhouse. We'll get into that in a minute. They put out their first project, Hard, or Housing and Rap Development, and I wanted to go get it, but they were already sold out. But they had a couple other things that looked interesting. This was one of them. This is Pete Rock's Peach Instrumentals 2. He's getting ready to release Peach Instrumentals 4. This was just great instrumental hip hop. For $15, I had to swing on it, and I'm glad I did. It was a really good fun listen. Something that if I'm in the mood for that boom bap style, but don't want, not really sure which MC I want to roll with, that's a good one to throw on. The other one I picked up was this one, and this one's called Semi Hendrix. So Semi Hendrix is the brainchild of Raz Kaz and producer Jack Splash. He's a producer, he's a rapper as well. And I'm a huge Raz Kaz fan. West Coast hip hop legend. Incredible MC. He's one of those ones that is battle tested. He's got wordplay for days. You just don't want to mess with Raz Kaz. And I wasn't familiar with this project, but knowing Raz Kaz and $15, I was like, sold. Glad I did. Has tones of psychedelia thrown in for it. The wax is very trippy. It was just a great listen. I was really enjoying it. So I'm glad I picked that one up for $15. And then speaking of Raz Kaz, picked up this one. This was my hip hop album of the year last year, and this is Horseman, The Last Ride. So the Horseman was a supergroup. And sadly in hip hop, it seems like supergroups are destined to fail. This is Killer Priest, Raz Kaz, Corrupt, and Cannabis, and they all play a different persona of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And this one went out streaming, I think, early last year. And on first listen, I was like, 4 hyenas got into the booth and laid down some lyrics. Raz Kaz to me couldn't be touched. Corrupt stepped up his game. Killer Priest really brought it as well. Cannabis is Cannabis, but he really just... I think recently Cannabis has kind of humbled himself and found his true pockets. I think his ego has checked itself at the door a little bit, and he's really come into his own. His solo project he did at the end of 2020 blew me away. So it's good to hear Cannabis kind of where in the pocket that he should be. For fans of lyricism, you gotta check this album out. Absolutely fantastic. This is the red and green pressing. Red is for war, and green is for pestilence. Those are the colors. This is the Raz Kaz Pestilence, and this is the Cannabis War. Fantastic album. Could not stop streaming it. So they did pre-orders for the album to come out in September. I pounced on it. I may go back and get the other two. Could get them all the other two colors, just because to me, like I said, this one was hands down album of the year 2021 when it came to hip hop for me. And just lyrically, it did not stop. I mentioned Billy Hurst earlier. He helped put this one in my hands. And this is an unofficial press of a kid named Cudi. So Kid Cudi, actor, rapper, musician. He actually had a semi-rock album. Hey, teach his own. This was his first mixtape. And I say it like that because it was underground released. And then this is what kind of put him on the radar for people like Kanye and stuff like that. So this one was kind of like, done for him and stuff like that. And released digitally. I don't think it was ever officially released on anything. So this is one of those unofficials. Shh, don't tell nobody. But just fantastic. And honestly, track for track, maybe my favorite Cudi. I love his Man in the Moon series. He's done 3. I've got the first one. Spoiler alert, I may have the third one. But to me, this one is just pound for pound, very, very tight. A lot of creativity went into this one. You have, here's your track listing. Songs that I would recommend to check out. Is There Any Love featuring Wale, who's from the Maryland, D.C. area, fantastic MC. The Prayer is fantastic. Day and Night, Embrace the Martian, Maui Wowie, that whole side too. Fantastic. 50 Ways to Make a Record is fun. Save My Soul. Cleveland Is the Reason, Heaven at Night, Cudi Spasm. I mean, to me, this is just fantastic stuff. And it's on Clear Wax. So Billy helped me track that one down and hooked it up. Billy, again, you are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much. I mentioned half these guys before. I mentioned Redman before. This is Method Man and Redman. I can't talk. See, I'm sick. Method Man and Redman's first one, Blackout. This is just fantastic, top to bottom. This is one of those ones that you can tell that they just rolled one, went in the studio, and just had a lot of fun. And for the end of the day, kids, hip-hop is about fun. It's supposed to be fun. Yes, it's about bars. Yes, it's about beats. But it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to have fun doing what you're doing. And some of these guys don't sound like they're having fun. This sounds like Method Man and Redman had fun. And if you ever see videos of them on stage together, their verses, they had fun. They're just great, great guys. Method Man is another one of those underrated, does not get enough props MCs. Anything he touches is just severely, severely underappreciated on the Black Wax. Picked up these two. And these are unique. So I was aware of this. I saw it, went down the rabbit hole with it, and said, all right, I got to listen to this. And you're going to be like, Tim, what is Hendrix doing in a hip-hop video? Well, what this is that there is a gentleman by the name of Tom Caruana. He's from the UK. And he's a producer / DJ. And he likes to do these mashups. So this one was a mashup of Wu-Tang and solo tracks from Wu-Tang with Hendrix. So when I first heard of it, I was like, I gotta check this out. I was really blown away by the creativity. He has things like here where he has Method Man and Busta Rhymes doing their song together, What's Happening, but it's over Manic Depression, Crosstown Traffic. He's got all different kinds of stuff on here. And then there's a bunch of like the instrumentals or beats that he chopped up and mashed together. And it was just really fun. A little pricey, but it was really fun. And I was like, man, I would not mind having that on wax because, I'm a nerd. I collect that kind of crap. So I saw it on wax, one black, one gold, hence the name Black Gold. And I picked it up. But then I was curious. I was like, well, what else has he done? So I found this one. An adventure to Pepperland through rhyme and space. And this is using the Beatles to kind of do that cut and paste, chop, mashup style with MCs. You've got people on here like Ultramagnetic, Big Daddy Kane, Biggie, Talib Kweli, Beastie Boys, Helter Skelter, Public Enemy, Nas, KRS and Channel Live. Again, fun listen. I love this kind of creativity. Sometimes it sounds too forced, sometimes it sounds too far-fetched, but this one was just a lot of fun, once again to Tom's credit, and I absolutely, sincerely enjoyed it. Again, on this really clear wax. You can find both of these releases on Bandcamp. And if last time I saw them, the digitals were name your price, probably because you can't technically pay for them because then he's selling them, and then there's a licensing issue. So again, these are unofficial. Tell nobody. A lot of fun. If you like that cut and paste style, a little creativity, some stuff you recognize, some stuff you don't. It was really just a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed them. And there's another one of his, but I don't have it yet. Lastly, one of my top 10 albums all time had an anniversary this past year. And if I'm talking hip hop, you probably might know what this is, you might not. That's Introducing by DJ Shadow. This was his quote unquote major label. I mean, I can't, at the time, Mowax wasn't major label, but they had distribution through Island A&M, which then became Universal. So they have faithfully reproduced. Got my little OP card. The gatefold. Some of the current reissues weren't gatefold; they were single pocket. Didn't have the proper inners, which this one does. In fact, I believe one of them even had a song cut off on the reissues. Sorry, I had to pull my digital card out to put that back in. This was half-speed mastered at Abbey Road. Absolutely fantastic. Does half-speed mastering matter on an album like this? You betcha. I used to say no. Here's why I changed. This era, excuse me, these guys were sampling to floppy, maybe get 30 seconds, minute, max 75 seconds. Sequencing them live, doing them layers, but it was going to 2-inch tape. In fact, if you go watch DJ Premier's channel, he's got a whole series dedicated to this process and the songs that he did. So if you think about it, going to the sampler from the vinyl to a floppy, and it's only holding about 60 seconds. It's non-compressed because now they've got to be able to utilize it to chop it on command when they hit those pads. And if they're going to tape, there's no compression in any of the process. So if you're taking this from the original tapes and going to a half-speed master, it's going to sound phenomenal, and it does. Where the reissues, I think, suffered from some of the low end, and lesser turntables couldn't handle the bass that would hit at certain times. This one is mastered beautifully. It's pressed absolutely divine, and absolutely love it. Am I speaking on that because it's just one of my favorite albums of all time? Maybe, but I had to have it. They had a package deal on his site when they announced it. The package deal came with a 7-inch of the Cut Chemist Party Mix remix of the Number Song and it has what is called introducing drops, drums, and scratches, which is just little things like a DJ would geek out on, like some of the stabs or things like that. It's almost pressed up like a show vinyl would, where you would get a crash, maybe a second, another snare, another second, a phrase, so you could literally get to where you wanted to go, cut it up, and then let go, and then get to the next one. That's how show vinyls for DJs used to get pressed up back in the days before Serato, so that way they could just, put together their little show stuff and have it done. So it's a very neat piece to have, but again, it was part of a package. Also came with a t-shirt. I ordered double extra large, and it looks like it's a medium. Edit. So, let's address the elephant in the room. I got all my hairs cut. It happens. Basically, what went down was a pair of scissors started talking pretty nasty about me. So I decided I was going to have some words with it, and I lost. So it was needed. But anyway, so addendum to what you just watched. I got a grail in the mail. And then in doing so, I remembered I had one that I forgot to show. So we're going to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. There's a 3rd bird. There he is, the true host. Funny he's appearing with the hip hop, right? Because that's oh yes, one of his many axolotls. Because I say that because they're not axolotls, they're stuffed, but they're an axolotl. So anyway, so this is the one I forgot. This came out last year. This was sadly the final solo album from the Gift of Gab. So Gift of Gab is half of Blackalicious. He is in the Soulside's crew, the Quantum crew. We lost Gift of Gab last year to kidneys. He had a long battle with kidney problems, and sadly could not keep dialysis going to sustain him, and he passed. So it was very sad to see, because I have a lot of respect for Gift of Gab. Very much a wordsmith, very creative when it comes to lyrics, but he's very spiritual minded in the sense that he believes in really just the mind, body, and spirit, and he was very astute on really expanding his horizons. Very well read, and that came through in his lyrics a lot. So this was his final solo album, finding inspiration somehow. He has 2 others. They're reissuing an EP he put out during his lifetime called Rejoice, Rappers Are Rapping Again, that features All Flows Reach Out, or Afro, and R.A. the Rugged Man. That video is actually out on YouTube and is just fantastic. So I've already pre-ordered that EP. Here's the label on the Gift of Gab. But the grail, and this is why it reminded me, is this. And it's Blackalicious' second album, Blazing Arrow. So Blackalicious, again, member of the Quantum, Soulside's crew, DJ Shadow, Blackalicious, Latif the True Speaker, Lyrics Born. So Blackalicious is Gift of Gab and Chief XL, who is an incredible producer in his own right. Him and Shadow would go record digging for trips for just ridiculousness. This one was kind of their major label debut, so they got distribution through MCA off of this, and it is just fantastic. I mean, this really has, I think, in my opinion, some of their most amazing work. So they have Blazing Arrow. It samples Me and My Arrow from Henry Nielsen off the Point album. First in Flight features Gil Scott-Heron, which is just an absolute amazing track, and it gave us a great quote from Gift of Gab. So you can choose to enter the morning saying "Good morning, God" or "Good God morning." He was very clever with his wordplay. Features Lateef the True Speaker on It's Going Down. Features Cut Chemist from Jurassic 5 on Chemical Calisthenics. Features Dilated Peoples. It's just a fantastic album, start to finish.
Very epic.
I would love to get in everything that they've offered on vinyl. I have a signed copy of Amani Volume 1 on CD. I have Nia, the A to G EP and the A to G EP on CDs. The Craft I can't seem to find. So I thought I had it, but I don't know where it is. So I'm trying to get everything on wax because this group really means a lot to me. They really do have some powerful, uplifting music. If you want to check them out, I do recommend First in Flight or Make You Feel That Way. Fantastic songs off of this album. So this is a 2021 reissue, but they say 2021, but it kind of came out in 22. It was pressed on Music on Vinyl, 2 LPs. There's a couple different presses. I think there's a pressing from Vinyl Me Please that's floating around out there. Mine's on black wax, but I mean, it could have been on fluorescent hot pink for all I care. That didn't matter. Having this on vinyl to me is very special. So, so this deserved the edit. This deserved the reshoot. So check out Blackalicious. This is probably very accessible to people who love hip hop, to people who are intrigued by hip hop and want to just expand and kind of jump in. Very accessible. So, highly recommend Blackalicious. Yeah. So, anyway, that's it. That's the true end. We're done. We're wrapping it up. And we'll see everybody soon. Love you all. Peace. And axolotls. And peace with axolotls.